Hey there, I'm Mr. Terry. I'm a high school history teacher. Welcome back to another History Teacher Reacts video. All right, you know I love covering history jokes from shows like The Simpsons and Family Guy, but this video caught my eye, and it's titled 15 Times The Simpsons Predicted the Future. So we're going to go back to the past and see how prophetic The Simpsons was. All right, I'm going to want to know in the comments, do you think what they did is pretty amazing? I'm excited to see. All right, this original video is linked down below. Let's get started. You know, they say history is a great predictor of the future. Let's see if they're right.
Who are the world's greatest prophets? The Mayans, Nostradamus, Edgar Casey, Grant Stark, Homer
He's so
Simpson?
overrated, by the way.
Nostradamus? Did the rapture come? I can't recall. Oh, in fact, I can recall, and it didn't, and you suck.
The Simpsons
right.
is not only the longest running sitcom and animated show on TV, it's arguably one of the best shows, period. But did you know the show also employs a stunning amount of prophets? That's right, The Simpsons has predicted some major historical events and some completely random things like this.
Hey, Dolph, take a memo on your Newton. Beat up Martin.
Martha.
Let's see. Beat up Martin.
Eat up Martin.
Still doesn't work.
Oh, autocorrect.
What the f?
The bane
Let's
of our
take a look
existence.
at 15 things The Simpsons has predicted correctly.
All right, let's see this.
Before we get started, guys, I have a prediction of my own. You're gonna subscribe to GameSpot Universe right now. Okay, maybe not.
Did you do it?
What if I ask nicely? Please subscribe because.
By the way, thank you. We just recently hit 400,000
show
subs.
Black Mirror, including breakdowns on each episode and a video on every single Easter egg we found in season 4. Side note, guys, let's hope that none of that stuff ever comes true. Okay, back to The Simpsons. Let's start with tech, specifically FaceTime, or video conferencing, which was predicted back in '95.
By the way, before they're talking about Simpsons there, you know what's been a great predictor was the original Star Trek. A lot of us with video phones and a bunch of other different things. Original Star Trek.
It's a fortune teller at a fair, and we're transported 15 years into the future. She's talking to Marge using her phone's video chat feature called a picture phone, which was ahead of its time, but finally became a reality in 2010. And now we all use it, even our grandparents.
Oh, don't worry, honey. I guarantee your phone.
Well, I mean, not as a phone, but I mean, we were doing video chats well before that.
It's a picture phone.
Oh, this? Oh, no, I just got a touch of the rheumatiz.
Oh. Mom, picture phone.
From the very same episode,
Not too
the
prophetic,
smartwatch.
though, right?
Lisa's fiance makes a phone call using his extremely fashionable watch. Kind of reminds me of Dick Tracy and how bad I wanted one of those things. But it wasn't until 19 years later that modern voice recognition enabled smartwatches would become widely available to the masses, thanks to Google, Samsung, and Apple. Moving on.
You know what? I don't know if technology is that hard to predict. You know what I mean? Just think of things that can make your life easier or more efficient, and it's probably going to exist one day. You know what I mean?
All right, GoPros. GoPro, or a camera in comparable size that was featured on a 1994 episode. Homer took part in a hidden camera investigation into the expired meat on sale at the Quickie Mart.
That's right.
Bite Back host Ken Brockman and the Channel 6 investigative news team give Homer a giant novelty hat to wear that contains a tiny camera in it. And we know only a GoPro would fit in there. 20 years later, we were introduced to the GoPro, which is the go-to hands-free way to record your travels while swimming, running, biking, or spying on people. That's some of the good tech, but how about some shitty?
I feel like I don't do anything that would be cool with a GoPro. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a drone. All right, faulty voting machines. Oh, no.
Faulty voting machines. Oh, no. Inspired by the 2008 presidential election, this episode finds Homer trying to place a vote for Barack Obama, and it doesn't go so well.
Hey, I only meant one of those votes for McCain. This machine is rigged.
Simpsons voted for McCain.
Tell President McCain.
Put it down.
This doesn't happen in America. Maybe Ohio, but not in America.
Now in 2012, this actually happened, and there's video on YouTube to prove it. Racking over 10 million views, this Pennsylvania machine wasn't calibrated correctly and changes a vote for Obama to Mitt Romney. Speaking of presidential elections...
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, Obama ended up winning anyways, so I guess that didn't mess that up. Voting issues happened in the 2000 election with Bush Gore. They were using paper ballots, and there were like some that were supposed to be like confusing. It was in Florida. They apparently didn't know how to use the things where it's like they'd poke, but like not poke enough So there'd be like a little piece of like the perforation left. They ended up having to do a recount for that. Didn't end up changing anything. That was an election, by the way, where Al Gore had won the popular vote, but George W. Bush ended up winning the Electoral College, similar to the 2016 election. That happened as well.
Simpsons predicted Trump, as in President Trump. Yep, it's another flash forward to the future.
I remember
as Bart
that?
is an adult and
This
Lisa
episode?
is the president of the United
predicted
States.
Trump?
Unfortunately, she is tasked with the gargantuan task of cleaning up after the
I don't remember
disastrous
this.
job left by Donald Trump.
As you know, we've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump. How bad is it, Secretary Van
I didn't know
Houten?
that.
We're broke.
The country is broke. How can that be?
The National
Wow, I didn't know they did that. They predicted Trump. I'm assuming they meant Donald Trump in that episode. Right? They said Trump. Was there just some other one? See, that would have seemed like very out there back in, what was this, the 90s or whatever, this one, of having somebody that was just completely unaffiliated politically, but was involved in reality TV, and he was famous for so many things, not politics. Now I think with Trump having won an election, I think people are now going to open their minds a lot more to candidates of different backgrounds. It's like it just takes one of those to kind of break that mold. Don't you think so? All right, what do we got? NSA snooping.
Security Agency made headlines in 2013, but
Not
the
hard to
NSA
predict
played a pivotal
any
role in the
intelligence
Simpsons movie back
agency.
in 07. Quick refresher, Homer accidentally pollutes Springfield's water supply, the family goes on the run, and the EPA declares the family as fugitives. The NSA finally tracks down Marge and the kids by listening in on their conversations. And 6 years later, Edward Snowden revealed
And everything that
widespread mass
passes through the
surveillance
internet,
of
right?
citizens by the American government through phone and
Everything's
internet.
recorded somewhere, right?
The show also correctly predicted the 2016
Interesting.
Nobel Prize winner 6 years before it happened.
For real? I'm trying to look at these people on that list. I don't really
That's
know
right,
them up
never
first
underestimate
glance.
Milhouse. He's a genius. Seriously. In 2010, he correctly predicted Bengt Holmstrom would win it, and he did in 2016.
What did he do?
The Nobel Prize in Economics. Milhouse was part of a Nobel Prize betting pool.
What year,
Nerd alert,
2010,
with
they
Lisa,
said?
Martin, and Database. It doesn't take a Nobel Prize.
What did he win for? It says economics. He must have had some kind of breakthrough theory or something. FIFA is corrupt. Yeah, the Qatar election or voting for Qatar to get it. We know that was like, I think, super corrupt. Like tons of people being paid off, I think, to get them the World Cup, if I remember right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought I remember that coming out.
Prize winner to predict this one.
That's
FIFA
just one
is
specific
corrupt.
thing.
Back
FIFA
in
is probably
2014, Homer was
super
asked by
corrupt.
FIFA to help repair the organization's image and to actually
Just like the
referee
Olympic
a World Cup
IOC,
in Brazil.
Olympic Committee,
Yep,
has been
that happened. The
shown for a
episode
lot of that.
forecasted the FIFA arrests, though not by naming anyone specifically. Real-life FIFA officials were indicted a year later amidst corruption claims, bribery, and money laundering. Also, bonus points because The Simpsons also predicted that Germany would beat Brazil in that World Cup final.
Oh, that's
They
right.
just missed on the score. It turns out the
Was that was the 7-1 game, right? That's gone down in like meme history. Yeah, unfortunately, FIFA, yeah, super corrupted. Higgs boson. Okay. Higgs boson particle, the particle that gives mass to, right? Mass to, it creates mass or whatever, or like.
Simpsons
gives
writers are also mathematicians,
mass to matter?
apparently, because Homer
Isn't that what
Simpson
it- isn't that what
discovered
that
the
is?
Higgs boson before anyone else. Homer was a good 14 years early on the God particle, which
Yeah,
helps
God
explain
particle.
how everything in the universe has mass.
Yeah.
In a 1998 episode,
Master.
Homer becomes an inventor and is shown at a
Hated him.
chalkboard with an extremely complicated equation. Unbelievably, that equation
Professor
actually
Friend.
predicts the mass of the Higgs
Wyman.
boson, or something extremely close to it. Believe me, it's incredible, and was co-signed by Dr. Simon Singh, author of The Simpsons and Their Mathematical Secrets.
Oh,
This one is
sweet.
extremely bleak, but The Simpsons may have
Ebola
hinted at the
outbreak, oh
Ebola
gosh.
outbreak way back in 1997. The episode features
But didn't
Marge
he,
trying
Bill been around before 2014 now.
to get a sick and depressed Bart out of bed and offering to read him this book, Curious George and
It was a
the
bigger outbreak in
Ebola virus.
2014, though.
Would you like to color something?
And the
I
Ebola.
did.
Curious George and the Ebola virus.
Could that drawing be a sign of life after an outbreak of a deadly virus? I know it's a stretch, but this episode was widely shared by YouTube user The Controversy 7, who theorized that the show predicted the 2014 American Ebola outbreak.
Dang.
Elsewhere in the world, the show also predicted Greece's financial crisis a few years early.
Oh, wow.
Back in 2012, Homer appeared as a guest commentator on the program
Yeah, that happened.
Watch closely as the ticker runs across the bottom of the screen. Europe puts Greece on eBay.
Obama
Of
calls
course, just
Mulligan
3
on
years
first
later,
turn.
Greece plunged into economic crisis,
Europe
becoming the
puts
first
Greece
developed country to default on an International Monetary Fund
on
loan
eBay.
repayment. And yet another scary one.
On eBay. Well, yeah, the entire financial system of Greece collapsed, and it was bad because Greece is on the euro, and it completely tanked the euro. And basically, bigger economic countries that use the euro, like Germany, basically had to bail them out. But people were talking about, you know, if one country's going to tank it, should they just be removed from the euro so everyone doesn't go down with the ship? So therefore, let's sell Greece on eBay, right?
Siegfried and Roy's
Oh
Tiger
yeah,
Attack.
he got
In the episode,
messed
Mr.
up,
Burns is
right?
opening up a casino with a wannabe Siegfried and Roy, 2 German magicians,
surprised
Gunther
that doesn't
and Ernst,
happen more.
and their long-running show that
Full of
tragically
Tiger
ends in
King,
a
you
tiger
know?
attack.
They've got those instincts. That's why they've never been domesticated.
10 years later, Roy Horn was mauled in Las Vegas during a performance that left him partially paralyzed and ended the show's 13-year production. Speaking of
Did they end
performers,
with
the
that?
show predicted
Gaga?
Lady Gaga and her Super Bowl halftime show. Kudos for guessing Gaga would headline a big-time performance, but it's not all that impressive.
mean?
Hell, she's one of the world's biggest stars.
Yeah, she
What's
did
really
Super Bowl,
impressive,
right?
however, is how spot-on the performance was. Her Springfield performance had her suspended in air, and the same came true 5 years later when she descended from the roof at halftime during Super Bowl 51. Only Sting did it better.
Do you think she did it because, like you heard of a self-fulfilling prophecy? It's where someone knows of a prophecy and you actively try to fulfill that. You actually do it. I wonder if she had seen it before and was like, "I'll do it." Who's that? The Undertaker?
This one was recently confirmed. Disney owns Fox. Back in 1998, director Ron Howard pitches Homer's screenplay to producer Brian Grazer at 20th Century Fox.
Wow.
Now, pay close attention to the sign at the beginning of this scene. The
Yeah,
Fox
it's a-
studio lot is, quote, a
Disney
division of the Walt Disney Company.
I wonder what
Almost
statement they
20
were trying to make
years
with that. Were they trying to make a statement of just Disney keeps growing? You know, I mean, Disney really blew up. I mean, it's always been huge, but really blew up, I feel like, in the 21st century as far as like being a crazy monopoly that's bought like ESPN and like other
More
things
than
like that.
$50 billion later, the Disney-Fox deal is a reality as Mickey Mouse and company continue their war with Netflix for your entertainment attention. And let's end it here because this one is extremely nuts and in no way feasible. The Simpsons predicted 9/11 in
What?
1997. YouTube user Truth Will Find You Brew points out that the bus advertisement that promises New York tickets for $9
yeah.
perfectly lines up next to the Twin Towers
Yeah.
to read New York 9/11. No way that is anything more.
Wait. Oh. Okay, so they're saying, okay, there's the $9 sign, if you can see my mouse, and then those show 9, or that makes it 11. That's, I mean, no way.
Twin Towers to read New
Obviously.
York
I mean, obviously, no way,
9/11.
but, like,
no
you know
way
what I
that
mean.
is anything more than just a complete coincidence. But this is what happens when you spend way too much time on internet conspiracy theory rabbit holes.
What's that term? Pareidolia or whatever, where it's like you find patterns in things that don't exist. We're already a pattern seeking species. It's what we do. And sometimes people have that to another level where they find patterns in everything. The people that will be like, look at a book and see how certain letters are aligned going down or numbers like adding up to things, you know what I mean? And then draw that to like a conspiracy. Anyways, final thoughts. Okay, I thought by far the most interesting one was the Trump prediction. That was interesting because that, like, I mean, they intentionally put Trump and saw him as, I don't know if they were like, just going to be talking like in the future, like making fun of America or something like that, in a way that like nobody would ever put a non-politician, straight to the presidency. You know what I mean? But yeah, there you go. That one I think was super impressive. So anyways, what do you think of these? Do you think there was some prophetic things as far as the technologies and all that? And I wonder what the Simpsons will predict next. All right, y'all. We'll see you next time. Bye.